When it comes to starting a photography business, you don't need a lot of equipment. You just need a camera, a flash, a tripod, an SD card, and a computer to edit. Now, I know that might sound kind of simple, but if you need some recommendations on what to get or where to get started, watch this video. Start with the camera first. So if you don't have any photography experience, or if you've never owned a camera, I would probably recommend getting a Sony a6000. You could probably get this camera for like under $500, and it's a really good camera to start off with. By the way, the cameras that I'm recommending, they're all going to be Sony because that's what I use, and that's what I know. I really don't know too much about Nikon. I know a little bit about Canon, but I know more about Sony because that's what I use. So yeah, I would recommend a Sony a6000 if you don't have any experience, and that's going to be your first camera. If you want something more mid-tier, I would probably recommend the Sony a7 II. This camera is going to range from around $500 to $1,500, and I've actually used this camera for like the past 2 to 3 years. That's how I built up my photography business. And if you are a great photographer, if you have that great eye or know how to edit really good, clients are still going to love your work even though it's like a mid-tier camera. Now, I would say this camera is good for photos, but when it comes to video, it's not so great. Now that leads me to my third camera. If you want a really good camera that does good photos and good video, I would recommend the Sony a7S III. This camera is gonna range around $3,000 depending on where you get it or if you just get the body. But this camera is really good for photos, and for videos, you could actually shoot 4K. And video is actually something that, you might want to invest in a camera that does good videos, because even if you're a photographer, some clients might, contact you for video. You never know when you might need that video service. Now let's talk about which flash you should get. So my first flash was this one right here, and I got this one on Amazon for like $80, I want to say. But I went the cheap way. I didn't want to get like a good flash. I was like, you know what? A flash is a flash. I'm gonna just get this one on Amazon. Actually, I think it was like $70. I was like, I'm just gonna get this one on Amazon, and it didn't work. I only used it like once or twice, but it broke, and that was a lesson for me to learn. And then I bought this flash, which it's from Godax. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, Godax. But anyways, this flash was like $150. And I was still being a little bit cheap about which flash I should get. And this one was good for about like 4 months, but then it broke on me. And then I got this flash right here. Now, this flash was actually like around $300. I want to say it was like $350, with tax included. But this is a flash that I should have got it from the start. I've been using this for like more than a year now. It's the Godax V8603S. I'll have a link in the description below so you can check it out, but this is a flash that I recommend. Yeah, it was a little bit more expensive, but if you buy something that is a little bit more high-end or a little bit better, it's gonna last you a little bit longer on the long run. When it comes to a tripod, the same thing. Don't get a cheap tripod because it's gonna break. My first ever tripod, I got it at Target. I wanna say it was like $20. I really don't remember. This was like 5 or 6 years ago. Things were cheaper back then, but I got the cheapest tripod at Target, and it only lasted me like 3 or 4 months because it actually broke. One of the legs broke on me. So you wanna get a tripod that is pretty durable, that looks pretty thick. The one I have, it's Sunspac, I believe that's how you say it. And I don't recall the price on this one, but I've been having this for more than 3 years and it's been really great. So you kind of want to get something that that doesn't look too thin. You probably want to aim for something that it's like around $80 to $150 for a tripod, and it's going to last you a long time. When it comes to a computer, I use the MacBook Pro, and I recommend this computer because if you're going to be using Adobe apps like Premiere, Lightroom, Photoshop, or Final Cut Pro, you want to be using a computer that's going to be really fast and that could hold up to these big applications. If you have like a MacBook Air, it's not really so good for that. Like, those computers are more good for like homework, or if you're just kind of browsing the internet, or for lighter stuff like that. But if you're going to be using apps, or be messing with these big files, for videos or photos or whatever, you're going to be doing, then I recommend the MacBook Pro. And that is pretty much everything that I use for my photography business. If you want to learn more about photography, or if you want to see more of my work, make sure to follow me on Instagram or subscribe to this YouTube channel. But that being said, I'll see you next video. Bye.